Chapter 1: Rumi's Formative Years in Ancient Balkh. In this opening episode, we explore the early stirrings of Rumi's spiritual path. Set against the mystical landscapes of Afghanistan and Balkh, we glimpse the childhood roots of a soul destined to awaken the world. Discover how, even in silence, the seed of divine fire was planted deep within his being, awaiting its moment to burn bright. Balkh Afghanistan 1207. In the heart of ancient Balkh, under the vast azure skies of Afghanistan in 1207, the young Jalaluddin, who would later be celebrated as Rumi, embarked on his spiritual and intellectual journey. Born into a lineage distinguished for its scholarly and mystical pursuits, Rumi was enveloped in a world where spirituality and intellect intertwined seamlessly, nurtured by both the natural beauty of his surroundings and the profound wisdom of his family. His father, Baha Valad, stood as a towering figure of spiritual guidance in Rumi's life. More than a father, he was a mentor whose deep religious insights and mystical intuition laid the foundational stones of Rumi's spiritual identity. Recognizing his son's unique connection to the spiritual realm early on, Baha Valad infused Rumi's young mind with stories and teachings that reached beyond conventional understanding, weaving a bond between them that transcended paternal affection. Rumi's intellectual thirst was further quenched by his tutor, Burhan, a man steeped in knowledge. Under Burhan's tutelage, Rumi explored theology, philosophy, and poetry, developing a keen intellect that sparkled with the promise of genius. Burhan's guidance was instrumental in teaching Rumi the subtleties of expression, emphasizing the wisdom behind words, profoundly shaping Rumi's later poetic endeavors. The young mystic's life was a confluence of spiritual teachings from his father and the intellectual discipline imparted by Burhan. This unique blend of influences fostered a thoughtful and reflective character in Rumi, who often found himself lost in contemplating the universe's mysteries or deeply moved by the simple beauties of the natural world. His empathy and introspection set him apart, marking him as a soul deeply connected to both the earthly and the divine. These early experiences nurtured Rumi's deep-seated yearning, shaping his understanding of love and longing as fundamental forces of the universe. Rumi's reputation for wisdom and insight spread as he matured, laying the groundwork for his future as a seminal figure in mystical literature. His early years in Balkh, under his father's and Burhan's teaching, were foundational in developing his perspective on love, spirituality, and the interconnectedness of all things. One crisp morning, beneath the ancient fig tree in their courtyard, Baha Valad shared with Rumi that the stars spoke in the language of the divine. This concept captivated the young mystic's imagination. They speak of love, Jalaluddin, a love that binds the cosmos, a love that is the essence of our very being, his father explained, instilling in him the belief that love was the ultimate truth of the universe. Burhan's study, a sanctuary lined with books, became the arena where Rumi learned to navigate the complexities of thought and emotion. Words are your servants, not your masters, Burhan reminded him, encouraging Rumi to let his heart lead in his quest for truth. This lesson in humility and the power of genuine emotion would define Rumi's approach to life and poetry. Rumi's sensitivity and empathy were evident even in his childhood, as seen in his profound connection to the natural world and his acute awareness of the suffering of others. His ability to feel deeply and see beyond the surface of things was a hallmark of his character, informing his work and worldview throughout his life. With its rich spiritual and intellectual heritage, the city of Balkh was both a cradle and a crucible for Rumi, nurturing his burgeoning spirit and challenging him to grow. Rooted in the fertile ground of his father's mysticism and Burhan's intellectual rigor, Rumi blossomed into a figure of immense spiritual and poetic significance. His early experiences in Balkh laid the foundation for his eventual emergence as a beacon of love, a bridge between the mortal and the divine, and a timeless voice that continues to sing of the heart's eternal quest for connection with the transcendent. As the seasons turned their pages in the ancient city of Balkh, Jalaluddin's life unfolded amidst the vibrant tableau of his surroundings. With its bustling markets and whispered prayers, the town was a place of learning and wonder for the young Jalaluddin. His curiosity led him through narrow alleys and past the homes of scholars and mystics, where the air was thick with the scent of spices and the promise of knowledge. Under the almond trees, Jalaluddin listened intently to his father, Baha Valad, and the visiting seekers of truth. These encounters, rich in discourse and ideas, nurtured his young mind with tales from distant lands and the wisdom of the divine. The night sky, a canvas of stars, served as a backdrop for the most profound lessons from his father, connecting Jalaluddin to the vastness of the universe and the mysteries it held. Despite the tranquility of these moments, the outside world was not as serene. The whispers of change and the shadow of Mongols and Khwarezm Shah's ambition hinted at an uncertain future. Yet Jalaluddin, shielded by his father's wisdom and the innocence of youth, remained largely untouched by these undercurrents. His days were also filled with the teachings of Burhan, who emphasized the importance of self-discipline and spiritual mysticism. This guidance, combined with the familial bonds and friendships Jalaluddin cherished, painted a picture of a life deeply rooted in his time's spiritual and intellectual traditions. However, Balkh's political climate grew increasingly unstable, casting a shadow over Jalaluddin's formative years. Baha Valad, recognizing the signs of impending conflict, prepared to protect his family from the approaching storm. The discussions of war and the strategic considerations of escape plans contrasted sharply with the spiritual and intellectual nourishment Jalaluddin received from his father and Burhan. Amidst the backdrop of upheaval and the whispers of imminent departure, the bond between Jalaluddin and Gawar, a family friend, emerges as a beacon of light. This friendship, untainted by the complexities of the adult world, becomes a symbol of innocence and a testament to the enduring power of human connections in times of turmoil. Their conversations, often meandering through dreams of the future and reflections on the present, carried a bittersweet undertone. They were a blend of hope for what lay ahead and melancholy for what must be left behind. Like Jalaluddin, Gawar, his childhood friend, harbored deep concerns about the prospect of leaving Balkh. The city was not just their home, but a part of their essence, a repository of memories and experiences that shaped their young lives. Gawar's apprehension mirrored Jalaluddin's own, binding them closer in their shared sense of loss and longing. As the shadow of departure grew ever more pronounced, the dialogues between Jalaluddin, Gawar, and their circle of friends deepened in substance. What loomed ahead was a change of scenery and a transformative journey. This impending move was a physical displacement from their beloved Balkh and a spiritual quest to forge Jalaluddin's identity, propelling him into the annals of history as a beacon of love, wisdom, and spiritual insight. Jalaluddin's character was being molded in the crucible of these early experiences. With its rich tapestry of culture, spirituality, and intellectual fervor, Balkh laid the groundwork for his future endeavors. As he and his family faced the certainty of their departure, Balkh remained an indelible part of their past, a source of strength and inspiration. This deep connection to their roots would serve as a guiding light through the uncertainties of their migration, ushering them towards a destiny yet unknown, but destined to leave an indelible mark on the spiritual landscape of the world. Chapter 2 follows on the next episode.